Isn't that America isn't worth defending. Maybe the problem is that lots of people today are entitled whiners who have no perspective and no idea how good they have it. Just like there's a long list of liberal celebrities who swear they'll go if a Republican is elected, and no one ever does. Miley Cyrus once said, "I am moving if Trump is my president. I don't say things I don't mean." Here she is looking miserable, having to endure America at the Grammys last Sunday. I guess she flew back from Tajikistan.
Ma has once again criticized woke Hollywood, and his comments are very strong. As a comedian and political talk show host, he believes that pushing back against wokeness could work, but only if Hollywood itself changes. However, looking at the current situation, that change doesn't seem likely anytime soon. The film and TV industry, which was once great, now appears deeply focused on woke ideas. Because of this, Ma continues to openly criticize Hollywood, breaking down what he saw as its ideology step by step. Let's take a closer look.
When I rewatch movies from only a decade or so ago, and they were made in a way that today would get you burned at the Twitter stake. It's complicated. From 2009, to name just one of many I could choose, was made by a who's who of the most blue ribbon certified Hollywood liberals, woke approved and Democratic Party contributing, from the stars to the producers to the director. But it apparently occurred to none of them to have any kind of minority in the cast. You would need a divining rod to find a person of color within 500 feet of this movie set. But if they made it today, they'd do better.
Movies in the past were truly special. They were made at a time when Hollywood focused on telling great stories instead of pushing messages. These films entertained us, taught us lessons, inspired our imagination, and created moments we still remember today. Most importantly, they brought people together. People from all backgrounds could sit in one theater, laugh at the same jokes, cry at the same scenes, and leave feeling connected. Now compare that to modern Hollywood, and the difference is clear. Today's movies often feel less like entertainment and more like lessons or lectures. They focus heavily on pushing certain messages and trying to please a small but loud group of people. Instead of uniting audiences, they divide them, turning movies into a place of conflict. What used to be a fun escape has now become something serious and confrontational. Because of this, Hollywood has lost the magic that once made its movies loved by everyone.
Seem to have a realistic view of how progress works. For example, do you know who Time Magazine's Man of the Year was in that year of 1973? Me neither, because who cares? The point is Time Magazine was still calling the award the Man of the Year. Time Magazine, another pillar of liberal enlightenment like the Oscars, but it only changed the name to Person of the Year in 1999.
When actors go on stage to receive awards, many of them now use that moment to lecture the audience, criticize America, and describe the country as being in constant decline. What used to be a celebration of creativity and talent has turned into a long show filled with political speeches. Celebrities often act more like activists than artists, focusing less on their work and more on making statements. The Oscars especially have changed a lot. Instead of celebrating filmmaking, they have become a platform for speeches and moral messages that many viewers didn't ask for. This is where Ma speaks out. He challenges the idea that America is going backward, explaining that progress is never quick or perfect. Change takes time and doesn't always happen smoothly, but that doesn't mean it isn't happening. By focusing on reality, Maher points out the exaggeration in Hollywood's negative view and brings a more balanced perspective.
Our forebears would have come to progress sooner. Ronald Reagan was very late on doing something about AIDS. But the liberals aren't on time either. Obama was late on gay marriage. JFK was late on civil rights. Bill Clinton was late on not having the interns blow you. I don't know if everything happens everywhere all at once.
Even the political groups that Hollywood often supports are sometimes slow to act on important issues. But being slow doesn't mean there is no progress. In a large and diverse country, change is never fast or simple. It happens step by step through discussion, disagreement, and gradual acceptance. America may take time to make decisions that support social progress, but taking longer is not the same as going backward. Many people treat any delay as a sign of failure, but in reality, it shows a system that allows debate and correction. This process can feel slow, but it helps avoid serious mistakes. Real progress is built through understanding and agreement, not pressure or forcing ideas. When people confuse patience with failure, they miss the bigger picture. America is still moving forward, even if it's not perfect.
But I need to get the out of this country.
The out of this country? The one you want to be elected to a leadership position in? What was your campaign slogan? America, a shining hole on a hill? Jesus. Even prostitutes have to pretend they like what they do.
It's not just celebrities who criticize America and talk about leaving. Some politicians do the same. They describe the country as broken or beyond repair, yet still want to lead it. If America is really that bad, then why do they want to gain power within the same system? This creates a clear contradiction. On one side, they criticize the country to gain attention or support. On the other side, they depend on its system and opportunities to build their careers. Criticism is important in any democracy, but there is a difference between helpful criticism and constant negativity. When leaders spend more time attacking the country than improving it, their actions start to look fake. At that point, people begin to notice the hypocrisy, and their message loses its strength.
Confused by this political message. Vote for me because I hate it here. Now, does America have big problems? Yes, I've often cited the America Sucks list. Things like being 54th in the world in infant mortality behind Cuba, 19th in literacy behind Russia, 72nd in female representation in government behind Iraq. A lot of work to do here. And is it possible for a country to lose itself so much that leaving it is justified? Yes, but we're not there yet, not by a long shot, and we don't need quitters. We need people who will stay and fix it.
Ma believes that America still has problems, and no honest person would deny that. Progress can be slow and sometimes frustrating, but it's important to look at the bigger picture. Compared to many other countries, the United States is still ahead in many ways. This explains why people from all over the world still want to move there. Despite its flaws, America offers opportunities that few countries can match. The system isn't perfect, it can be unfair and complicated, but it still rewards hard work and determination. In many places, your future depends on your background or connections. In America, there is at least a chance to improve your life. People can start over, build wealth, and create a new future. This idea is still real, and it's why the American dream continues to exist.
The problem isn't that America isn't worth defending. Maybe the problem is that lots of people today are entitled whiners who have no perspective and no idea how good they have it. 59% of self-identified liberals say there have been times when they considered leaving America for good, like after NBC canceled The West Wing. I don't get it. You want so badly for every immigrant to come to this country and experience the good life, but somehow it's so terrible you want to leave? And I see conservatives in Texas are talking secession again. They have 2 bumper stickers in that state. America, love it or leave it, and we're leaving it.
This is often a criticism aimed at Democrats. It's not about raising the most money. Money alone has never decided elections. Take Kamala Harris, for example. She raised a huge amount of campaign funding in a few months after being nominated. This created an image of strong momentum and attention in the media. But when people voted, that financial advantage didn't ensure success. It turned into one of the biggest election setbacks in recent history. The lesson is clear. Money can strengthen a message, but it can't fix weak ideas. Voters want authenticity, clarity, and policies that affect their everyday lives. Even the best-funded campaigns can fail without a real connection to voters.
There's a long list of liberal celebrities who swear they'll go if a Republican is elected, and no one ever does. Miley Cyrus once said, "I am moving if Trump is my president. I don't say things I don't mean." Here she is looking miserable, having to endure America at the Grammys last Sunday. I guess she flew back from Tajikistan.
Maher points out that many people confuse democratic socialists with regular Democrats. They group leaders like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Zoran Mamdani together, which is not accurate. Although they work within the Democratic Party, their ideas lean more toward democratic socialism. This means more government involvement in shaping economic and social issues. This difference matters, especially to voters who are cautious about far-left policies. Critics say these differences affect the proposals and priorities of such leaders. Maher warns that if someone like AOC leads, it could create a disconnect with moderate voters, which might hurt the party in elections.
TikTok's telling Americans things like,
It's fucked.
I think the new American dream is to leave.
I'm 18 years old and I escaped America.
yeah. Yeah, you don't have to escape America. That wall we're always debating isn't to keep you in. The New Republic just ran a story about the vulnerable minorities who want to flee America, including the author, a gay man trapped in the dystopian homophobic hellscape that is New York City. I wonder if he knows that there are 66 countries where just being gay is a crime.
America may not be perfect, but it stands out in one important way. It strongly supports human rights and personal freedom. People are free to speak their opinions, live their lives as they choose, and follow any religion or none at all without fear. You can criticize leaders, express different ideas, and practice your beliefs freely. This level of freedom is not common everywhere. In many countries, speaking against the government can lead to punishment or even prison. Religious minorities often face problems, and disagreement is sometimes treated as a crime. When people call America oppressive, they ignore these facts. Even with its flaws, the United States still offers freedoms that many people around the world do not have. In the end, Ma's message is simple. America is not perfect, but it is not finished either. Hollywood's focus on wokeness often depends on exaggeration and performance rather than reality. Progress may be slow, but it is still happening. The rights and opportunities in America are still valuable and rare in many parts of the world. Instead of constant negativity, the country needs honest criticism and appreciation for what works. And that's the end of today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.